We have previously discussed in our previous video as well as in our face-to-face discussion regarding the three broad approaches in criminal behavior. No? As what we have know, there are as what we have known, there are three broad models or theoretical models in the study of criminal behavior. One is the psychological approach. Number two is the sociological approach, and number three is the biological approach. We have already discussed the psychological and the sociological approaches. Now we will go to the biological approach. Just like any approaches, the biological approach has also principles to be followed. No? Now there are four principles. If the psychological approach has six principles, the biological approach has four principles. Now, what are these? Okay. So, by the way, before going on, we will have our exam next week. So that will follow our schedule. If our class is Friday, then our prelim exam will be on Friday, same time na as scheduled. Likewise, also the Saturday class will have our exam with the same time of the schedule. So our coverage of the prelim exam will be from the beginning, no? So good sa man to na-discuss na to primero until the topic that is going to be discussed today, no? Up to the end of this topic. Our exam will be just simple, no? It's just multiple choice, and I know it's your favorite. However, do not be complacent because my exam might come to you in a very, in a little, with little difficulties. No? Anyway, if you are following my discussions as well as you have read the modules, di ba? Nag-send ko ninyo, duha naman to ko module. Then na po yung mga face-to-face discussions na to as well as kining itong mga video, no? Mga video nga gi-send sa inyo. So study on that because they will come out in our exam. Now, for the biological approach, there are four principles that we need to understand and familiarize ourselves. And while we are in this subject, it's better not to memorize these principles of the biological approach. Here are the approaches. Here are the principles of the biological approach. One is that no, that this is the one. This is the one. Okay, that's the little bit advanced slide. So the four principles is that one, human behavior can be explained through biology. Second is there is a direct connection between the brain activity and cognition. And third is both the physiology and biochemistry of the brain can have an effect on how people behave. And number four, behavior can be inherited through genetics. Now, what do they mean? Number one is human behavior can be explained through biology. Kung sa uban pa nga mga approaches, for example, psychologist, we can explain, no? Psychologists can explain human behavior through psychological principles as well as the sociological approach. They can explain human behavior with the use of sociological approach. Yung biologist, yes, we can also do that using our biological principles. Kaya namin i-explain yan. Kaya namin i-explain. So that's the point. According to them, human behavior can be explained through biology. It's true, no? Because, for example, biology does not only focus on how we grow plants, how we grow animals, how we observe them, but as well we try to study their behavior, their what is their role in the ecology. Whether you are a predator, whether that animal or that living thing is a predator or a prey. Depende. So that's how they try to convince us, the biological theorists, that human behavior can also be explained through biology. Next is that there is a direct connection between brain activity and cognition. So, man siyang direct connection. Meaning, almost ko, na direct nga connection. Meaning, the signal is very loud and clear. Di ba? So, brain activity and cognition. By the way, what is cognition, class? Cognition, kung sabi ni Saya pa, it's ang atong paghuna-huna, no? Ang atong paghuna-huna, ang atong pagpinsar, ang atong pag-analyze sa situation. How do we perceive an object? How do we perceive human behavior? No? Unsa may ato tan-aw ni ana, unsa may atong pag-analisar ni ana. That's cognition. On the other hand, brain activity is kuwan lang siya. It could be a complex or a simple brain activity. Now, brain activity could either be a voluntary or an involuntary. It will, because the brain activity is the command nga unsay atong malihok sa atong lawas. So when we say voluntary movement, that are those things that we intend to do. No, ato gyud siya gituyo. When we say voluntary, kanang gituyo na to pag mo. So for example, ako i-wave akong hand, di ba? Ako pilok-pilok ko na akong mata. Tinuyo na siya, no? Tinuyo na pagpilok. So that's voluntary. But when we say involuntary movement, the command from the brain, it's like example of that is breathing, di ba? Ato pa ba huna-hunaon nga maginhawa ta? No, it's just naturally comes out without any voluntary nga ato gyud siya mo exert tag effort. Just like the winkling of the eye or the eyes, di ba? Kanang mamilok ta nga di nato tuyoon. Ato ba nagituyo? Wala, no? It's just a brain activity nga simple lang siya, but it's involuntary. Wala ta magkinahanglan og specific command because it is naturally undertaken by the brain without any command from us, no, sa atong cognition. More or less ang cognition is tuwa siya sa voluntary, no? Ang cognition is tuwa siya mo fall sa voluntary activity sa brain. Okay? Now, number 3 is both the physiology and biochemistry of the brain can have an effect on how people behave. This is true, no? When we say physiology pertains to the flesh, no? Pertains to this physical body. Kini. That is our physiology. Our physiology is the study of our physical appearance, of our physical being, atong lawas. The flesh and blood. That's physiology. Study of our physical being. That's physiology. So, physiology and brain chemistry or the biochemistry of the brain can have an effect on how people behave. So, for example, biochemistry. Kaning biochemistry, it is the reaction of the brain, no? It's the reaction of the brain when a certain strange substance, meaning strange, kanang dili niya kayo ilado, meaning di niya kinahanglan sa iyang normal function. Mo na siya nga biochemistry na reaction na niya sa brain. For example, mainom ka og makainom nga ilimnon, makahubog nga ilimnon. Red horse usa ka litro. So, ang atong body adunay reaction ni ana. So may reaction if nakainom ka og red horse. So ang imong reaction is na ang uban mahubog, ang uban magkinatawa, ang uban gusto lang matug, ang uban gusto pa gyud mainom, di ba? Ang uban mga tao nga naapoy mga tao nga labi pong namong mga criminal behavior, manghagit na, mugawas na ang pagkamaldito kung makainom. Yeah? So that's the point of the biological theories that physiology and biochemistry of the brain can have an effect on how people behave. So it affects our behavior. Ang kanang mga substance nga to i-take, it will affect the behavior, our behavior. Number 4 is behavior can be inherited through genetics. Sa maning inherited, meaning imong masunod, di ba? You can inherit your behavior from your parents. So kung unsa ilang mga behavior, unsa ilang mga traits, unsa ilang mga attitude, it may be pwede na nimo ma-inherit na siya. If sa puton, pwede po ka mahimo sa puton. If kugihan, pwede po ka kugihan, di ba? So kana nga mga traits pwede ma-inherit sa tao through genetics. When you see genetics, through our genes. Our body is composed of cells, no? Then ang cells na to composed of genes na siya nga naa diha ang atong codings, ang codings ang atong DNA, So mo na nga can be inherited from our parents. According to the biological approach, this biological approach is also known as the medical model, is that abnormal behavior reflects an underlying disease process and can be thought of as an illness. So mao kuno na siya nga ang kana kunong abnormal behavior, ang tao nga mag-behave abnormally, when we say abnormally, dili mo na iyang usual nga kinaiya, di ba? Abnormal behavior. Dili mo na usual behavior sa tao, di ba? So kung abnormal yung behavior, according to the biological theorist, probably that person is having something, no? This is probably that can be thought of as an illness. Kasi nag-undergo na siya mga problema sa lawas mo na nga dali na siya musuko, no? Before smiling kay siya. Unya karon dili na. Basin og nagsakit lang ang iyang ngipon, di ba? So inana ang concept sa biological theories that probably person is having that abnormal behavior because there is an underlying cause, no? Biological cause. Adunay problema sa iyang panglawas. Okay? Now, the biological approach, the biological theories of criminality, take note, basically purport that criminal behavior is the result of some flaw in the biological makeup of individual. What is flaw? What is siyang flaw? Kaning flaw? Flaw is something wrong, no? That which is not supposed to be there. Sa nga na ni kining nakakuha na siya, nakahatag lang na siya disgwapa, no? When you say flawless, wala hamis, no? Wow, flawless, walay sabod. Pero when we say there's flaw, adunay garanggantod, no? Aron gargantod, something wrong, naka-spoil. That's the term nga gusto nako. Ka-spoil sa iyang kuan, sa iyang actual nga kuan, no? So criminal behavior is the result, according to the biological theories, that ang criminal kuno nga behavior is the result of some flaw in the biological makeup of the person or individual. Kasi may problema siya, no, sa iyang biological makeup. Ang paghimo, makeup is dili makeup sa noun, ha? It's biological makeup is made of, no? What is your body made of? So mo na siya nga result of some flaw. This flaw could be due to, number 1, heredity. What is heredity? Heredity is it is the passing, no? It is the passing of the mental and physical characteristic of a person from one generation to another. It's the passing of the mental or physical characteristic of a person from one generation to another. Gipasa na, napasa. As what we have said, it's by genetics. So it cannot be that ang papa mo'y muliwat sa anak. It is the anak who will liwat sa papa or sa mama because gikan na sa from one higher generation to lower generation. That's heredity. That's heredity. Now, kung unsay imong trait sa imong parents, unsay mga kuan nila, unsay mga kinaiya nila, Probably that you can inherit that. And if kana nga mga negatibo nga mga kuan nga mga behavior or attitude, it can be considered as flaw, no? Na ay kuan, it's either something wrong sa imong kuan, something wrong sa mind, mo na nga it can be considered as flaw. The second is the neurotransmitter dysfunction. What is this neurotransmitter? Mura mag-FM na transmitter or TV. Bitaw. Neurotransmitter, our mind is made up of neurons. Neurons. Gagpino kayo na siya. Matod pa sa information, our brain is made up of 36 billion neurons. Tiaw mo na, kadaghan. So, ang neuron is that it is the carrier of the information. Siya mo ay magdala sa information. It is also where some of the information are stored. To ako, if ang imong information to asa inner part, then to ana dito mura na siya maoy hardest sa imong ulo. Now, kung na-command, it will pass through several neurons, or plenty neurons. Kung, for example, pareha na sa message relay, nga ang information nga imong ihatag sa first sa line, pag-abot dito sa tumoy sa line, posible nga lain na, no? Because posible nga imong nahunghungan diha bungol, wa kabati, or paminaw niya, maumao na tong istorya, but it's different, di ba? So that's the cause, no, nga adunay transmission dysfunction, no? There is a neurotransmitter dysfunction because the neurons nga napasahan is dili siya active, dili siya or lain ng iyang pag-interpret. So nigawas dito sa tumoy lain, meaning if my command sa akong brain is I have to move this left thumb, so it's okay. No, it's okay. But ang problema diha if kung akong i-command sa akong ulo nga I have to move my left thumb, ang nilihok, ang kiring akong right pinky, akong finger diri sa to, there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with my neurons, di ba? Na posible nga bungol ang akong kuan, ay kuan. That's what that's the point of there is neurotransmitter dysfunction. Third is that there could be, the flu could be due to brain abnormalities, either caused by this number 1 and 2, or improper development, or trauma. So, posible nga adunay brain abnormalities. Nga, kuan, siguro sa pag-process, it's not the physical makeup of the brain itself, but ang iyang processing, no? Ang iyang pag-transmit sa signal. So, it's called brain abnormalities. Now, it is caused by either heredity or neurotransmitter dysfunction or improper development during sa childhood sa tao. Posible na pasmo na siya, na malnourished na siya. So, there are brain abnormalities. Or probably napangka na siya, causing some injury on the brain, portion of the brain. So, mo nang naay brain abnormalities. According to the book, there are examples of common brain abnormalities. They're also known as neurological disorder. So, it could be from very simple to complicated ng mga brain abnormalities. According to the biological theorists, even a headache is a brain abnormality. Nga naman. Nga naman, sir, nade-diferensya ang utok. No, it's good na diferensya, pero probably, sa pag-process niya sa information, adunay problema. That even kanang migraine. Ang migraine, it's not, until now, dili pa matugkad kung unsa ang cause niya ng migraine. Because, but some scientists said that it could be due to the blocking of some kining blood or air diha sa nerve cell or sa diha sa kanang agianan sa dugo, sa vessel diha sa brain. So that's the cause of the headache. It's not actually di pa yun na siya na-prove nga unsa ng migraine. But according to the one, it's brain abnormality. Ang kanang kuan. Even simple headache, according to them, it's abnormality. Seizures, kanang maglisod og ginhawa, mamurag makuyapan because probably kulang ang hangin or oxygen nga ri sa brain. So mo na nga magka-seizure. Dementia, kung magka-advance ang edad sa tao, normally mo kuan pod, mo degenerate pod ang iyang brain cells because ang atong brain cells good continuous man na class mo kuan mo generate. Kanunay na siya mo generate. That's why nga di na siya mahurot for kuan while we are still productive in generating our body in generating brain cells. So once nga mo kuan na nga dili na magsig-produce og brain cells ang atong ulo, then probably it will degenerate, magtikagamay. Mo na nga if ang nahitabuan nga walay replacement ang imong information wherein kana ang information na butang, posible malimuton na ang tao, no? Posible nga si Lola di nakaila siyang apo, di ba? Because of that dementia or the Alzheimer's disease. The palsy, kanang mga cerebral palsy, kanang lack of control sa kanang kuan, sa command sa ilang muscles, sa ilang body. So na ay mga kuan nga mostly are inborn, no? Inborn nga kanang maglisod ganing og lakaw ang uban nga lisod og istorya. These are mga brain abnormalities. Aneurysm, these are kuan nga kanang mulik ang blood vessel sa ulo, no? Mo na siya kuan, abnormality na siya. These are usually cerebral aneurysm causing severe headache, no? Or it may sometimes lead to death of a person. Kanang mo kuan, ma-hemorrhagic effect ang kuan sa aneurysm. Tumors, these are abnormalities, brain abnormalities. Now, for the biological scientists, no, for the biological theorists, according to them, brain surgery was used to control criminal behavior, especially in the primitive times. Natong unang panahon, ang pag-opera sa ulo nitong mga tao nga mga badlungon, common kayo, no? They do not really mind kung sakitan ng tao as long as especially when these persons are subject to studies. So muna nga they will be operated, no? They will be brain surgery conducted on them. However, it is very painful baya na nga mga surgeries before. Like for example, this so-called lobotomy. It's a neurological treatment of mental disorder that involves severing connections in the brains, no? In the prefrontal cortex. It is an invasive. When you say invasive, kanang mudo ipangat pigid sa ilawom, no? Kanon gyud siya, mo invade siya. Physical therapy. It is usually inserted through the opening sa imong eyes, no, above the eyes, sa imong sa tao. So di isuksok na siyang mga invasive instruments. So muna sakit. It's very painful na siyang it's very painful na siyang therapy. Other therapies are insulin shock, pero kini siya class nga mga these are mga primitive pa ni nga mga approach nila sa biological, no? Insulin shock kanang kuanon ang tao, pakalmahon through the use of insulin. But now we have proper naman nga mga therapy na, no? We have the physical therapy, we have the medication kung unsa ang is prescribed nga mga tambal para makatuog, ma-relax ang tao. Oh. Deep sleep therapy, pakatulgon og kanang dugay. I mean, lawom kayo nga katog, nga bisan pag usag pukaw, di na siya makuan. Or primitive also nga application kining when you say primitive katong una pa na, no? Karon dili na ganing nag-allow nato sa because there are mga practices nga considered as inhuman, mo na nga gi-stop na siya, wala na nag-allow sa to government. But this kining electroconvulsive therapy, I don't know if this still karon, pero murag wala naman siguro, discontinue na ni siya because this is this will cause death of the brain cells, no? Kaning tagaan og certain dili gud pakurintihan nga kusog, no? Kanang enough lang siya nga maka-trigger siya kuan nga ang brain makuan siya, mo paralyze siya, mo kuan for the meantime. Murag mo shan siya, no? Mo kuan para nang mutikig ba nga dili siya mo function for a certain period of time until nga ma-relax na siya. So other kuan, other biological methods, we have the medication. Number one is, mostly of the biological methods, kuan is medication in this at this time na, no? Properly prescribed ng medicine, o kung naay kuan taga Valium or unsa nga medicine so that maka-relax ang patient. Now, as what I have said, no, brain surgery is used to treat wide range of brain problems from depression to schizophrenia. Depression is a serious medical illness that negatively affects how a person feels, think, and act. It causes feelings of sadness and loss of interest in activities once enjoyed. That is depression, no? Wad agana sa iyang usual nga iyang kanang giganahag maayo. Murag na kuan siya, murag na sobraan siguro or nawala lang gyud, totally nawala lang gyud ang iyang gana, no? Used to like riding bicycle but now wala na because nag-undergo siya nga sakit. Another is the schizophrenia. It is the mental disorder characterized by abnormal behavior, strange speech, decreased ability to understand reality. Dili siya ka-connect sa reality na. Kani siya these are manifestations of an insane person. Diba? Other symptoms include false beliefs, na yung mga iyang pagtuos yung kagalingon nga ni-exist pero it's now no longer does not exist. Unclear or confused thinking, hearing voices that do not exist, reduced social engagement and emotional expression, and even lack of motivation. So muna ang mga kuan sa schizophrenia, iyang mga symptoms, iyang mga tigaman nga nung how do we recognize that person nga na schizophrenia. Diri ganing ay mga kuan nung na ay delusions, na ay hallucinations, na ay disorganized speech, flattened effect, no? Nang murag tanga na, na kuan, deadma, poker face na. So reduced speech, di na kaayo mong istorya, lack of initiative. These are positive kuno nga traits according to them. These are also negative, pero maganing mga delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech, puro man ni mga negative ganing, di ba? Kung hallucinate ka mo yun, nayabag, yung tawana, di ba? Or na yung mga delusions. So these are symptoms of schizophrenia. Sa other biological methods, I have mentioned one is medication. Number 2 is brain surgery. 3 is other biological methods such as the deep brain stimulation, especially for the Parkinson's disease. Ang Parkinson's disease, good class, it's located na sa bottom sa imong brain, sa pinakaubos, nasa ubos, then to sa ilawom. So lisod na siya nga operahan or unsawa because chances is lesser ang chances. That's why they used to have this kining brain stimulation for some disorders such as the Parkinson's disease. And also adopted is katong therapy nga akong ingon ganina. Then we have also this administration of proper diet. Sometimes ang tao is they are behaving or a person is behaving oddly because siguro nanobra siya sa alcohol, sa level sa alcohol, nanobra sa level sa sugar or sa tamis or sa baka dehydrated siya or too much ang iyang level sa salt, di ba? So this affects our behavior. And that's why we have this administration of proper diet. Administer lang proper diet, kaon og kuan, kaon og utan aron balance ang imong diet, di ba? Kaon og usahay fruits para balance. So another is the modification of genetic combination. These are new things, no? Kaning genetic combination. Unsa man na siya, ang tao adunay kuan genes, di ba? Adunay genes, and our genes is made up of DNAs katong mga coding. DNA is taas kay na siya nga code, million of codes. That's why nga dugay na ang dugay nang mag-DNA testing, di ba? Kay dugay ang result mo gawas. Because it will undergo laboratory analysis kung unsa man ang mga codes diha. It's very useful sa karon nga time, especially kung ang victim cannot be identified, ang iyang remains ko lisod na i-identify. So muna nga mo undergo og kanang gitawag nato nga DNA testing, or even in the determination of the paternity of the child, no? Ang iyang ang kisa may iyang father, kisa may iyang mother. So muna nga DNA testing is now claiming that they are 99.9% nga accurate. Probably it's true because out of how many millions of codes diha, ilan na i-compare o pareha ba na siya? There is man ni siya similar ba ni ani nga mga codings. So, and in fact, mantakita gud ana kung say literal dito, pero makaingon sila, maka-conclude sila nga kini nga tao is anak ni Pulano, no? Kini nga body is kuan because ang iyang parents mao ni ang mga code sa iyang DNA, di ba? So that's the use of this DNA, of this genetic engineering. Sa pagkakaroon, we have this course na kini nga kurso, genetic engineering. However, there are kuan nga need to be modified, no? Dahil mga kuan nga dapat i-modify ang genes nga naman ka badlungon, no? Even today there are although it's not it's not public, but scientists are trying to to create a person nga naa ang mga good nga qualities, no? Through modification of the genetic combination. Have you heard about the GMO? No, that's the GMO, genetically modified organism. Now, kana siya is it's a procedure nga na-adapt na gina sa agriculture na to. There are mga tanom na to nga mga heat resistant na siya, no? Drought resistant na siya, pest resistant na siya. We have the corn nga mga di na siya basta-basta that's genetically modified. Sa iyang genes gipangkuha ng iyang mga weaknesses, no? Gipangpulihan na og strength. So that's modification of genetic combination. I have read an article ganing, no? That's in Switzerland. Actually, dito magyapon na katong na ay cloning sa goat, di ba? The scientists had successfully cloned a goat, pero although wala lang ka-survive og dugay ito nga goat because weak ang iyang immune system. Unlike the goat that is grown naturally, taas ang iyang immune system. But for kanang mga clone, weak na because they are not exposed to kanang natural environment. They grow lang na sila kalit diha with copied, no? With copied nga mga genetic combination. So I have read an article nga sa Switzerland kuno, there is a restaurant that is allowed by the government. When we say inana na sila allowed, inana na sila ka stricto, but they allow nga naay laboratory grown nga chicken meat. Meaning wala na wala na gagikan sa poultry, wala na gagikan sa poultry. Wala na kakamanok di ka nakabati og manok nga tuktugaok, wala nay manok nga naay ulo, naay tapay, naay tiil, because it's the meat that is grown in the laboratory. So that's genetic modification, di ba? How can you produce a chicken meat without chicken, di ba? That's why class nga mo yung tangasos kalami sa inasal nga baboy nga kuan kining bagtik nga kuan nagpailog sa panit. Pero di na ta magpailog later on kung naanay mga modified nga mga gene sa baboy nga puro na lang panit, no? Dili na ta magkuan inig asal puro na panit, alami na kayo anay luod, di ba? So that's part of the that's an example of modification of genetic combination. Some biological techniques in controlling crimes are proven effective, but it comes with a price. So, tinood, mahal yun na siya when we talk about biological techniques. More likely, biological criminal behavior only manifest or being discovered after the commission of the crime, which damage has already been done. Ang mga biological behavior ko, no, makit-an na nimo kung nakadamage na sa ibang tao. So, saan man na, then we have to treat na lang, di ba? And biological theorists also endorse stricter penalties. Unlike sa mga psychologists, di ba? Kami sila nga, dapat i-rehabilitate ang tao. Less punishment, i-rehabilitate, taga-agtyan sa, i-relearn, i-retrain, no? Taga-i og education. But for the biological theorists, they said that we should, no? The community should impose stricter penalties and better law enforcement techniques for crime control. So that's it. No, that's it about the biological approach. Actually, we're still in the introduction pa. The theory will come and it will be discussed. No? There are many theories about criminal behavior. And I am planning that I will require you to, I will be grouping you into 6 or 7 groups. And I will assign you mga assignments so that you will discuss that, no, you will be the one to present that before us sa imong mga classmates ug sa ako. However, you will not be required to come on stage. You will be, to go to the front to discuss. You can have it recorded in the video, ha, kamong sa ka grupo, mga 6 ka buok or 7 ka buok, so mag-record mo ana kung sa ako i-assign ninyo. I'm still looking for any idea whether I am the one to group you or kamo na mismo may magpili sa inyong mga isig ka member sa grupo, because there are persons who are not, students who are not comfortable with working other persons, no? So kung ang chemistry sa makuha og maayo, kung nindot kamo magkasabot gyud mismo, ha? So, wala pa so far. After our exam, I still have to discuss the early general theories. Itong demonology, katong classical theory, the neoclassical, the choice, I think it's the choice theory. No? Actually, I have to discuss that before I will assign to you your topics through groupings. Now, again, you study because our exam will be next week. Be prepared. Our exam will be in accordance of our class schedule. Okay, so that's all for now, class, and happy weekend. Thank you.